In other news now, a revenue windfall to help with the social relief of distress grant. But it's little comfort amid the soaring debt that's throttling public spending and an energy crisis that's stifling economic growth. Those were the main points of Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana's maiden medium-term budget policy statement. The largest portion of more than 59 billion rand in adjustments will, however, be going towards the public sector wage bill. And Godongwana's standing firm on state-owned enterprises and says it's time to practice, quote, tough love. Lindsay Dentlinger filed this report.
The economy has made a better-than-expected recovery during the first half of the year, and revenue is up by 120.3 billion rand. But Enoch Godongwana warns the windfall, largely as a result of mining, is temporary.
The stock of debt, the 4 trillion in debt that we now owe, is incurring debt service costs that will become the largest portion of spending compared to individual functions from next year. These debt service costs are not discretionary. In other words, we cannot avoid paying them. Their effect, therefore, is to crowd out other spending priorities.
The economy is expected to grow by 5.1% in 2021, but the energy crisis remains a major constraint to further growth.
Our first and immediate task in this regard must be to ensure stable energy supply, reduce the risk of long load shedding, and accelerate the transition to renewable energy sources. All of our efforts over the past 13 years have been to fix Eskom, instead of securing supply of adding additional capacity to the grid.
While the NEL will receive 2.9 billion rand to prevent defaulting on its loans, Godongwana is holding the line of his predecessor and says bailouts for parastatals are out of the question.
In this medium-term budget policy statement, no additional funding is provided for state-owned companies. The exception is to this is where guarantees have been called by creditors and conditions have been met by the OEC in question within the context of their strategic importance. We must be prepared to consolidate some of our state-owned entities and let go of those that are not longer considered strategically relevant.
Godongwana says extending the social relief of distress grant beyond March is not his call to make. He says government will have to weigh up the financial impact, which could be in the region of 67 billion rand annually, against other spending priorities. Lindsay Dentlinger, Cape Town.